Okay, we're live. All right, everybody, welcome to the City Council meeting for interviews for the Asheville City School Board. Let me just say a couple of things. One, we are obviously missing two councilwomen today, and so they've both got various conflicts, but we're going to move forward with these interviews, and the appointments will be made at tonight's meeting. One other thing, just in case anyone's curious, council tried to get out of the business of appointing school board members with the passage of legislation this last year, moving the school board to an elected school board. But because we had a vacancy created by someone who was appointed by this council, then council has to make the appointment to fill the vacancy. If it were a seat of someone who had been elected to the school board, then the school board body itself would have made the vacancy appointment. So that is why we are here today, and we have four folks we're interviewing. We are interviewing the four folks who recently ran for school board, but were not elected. And we're beginning with Jesse Warren, who is here before us. Each interview will be 15 minutes long. And I will begin, Mr. Warren, by just asking you to tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in serving on the Asheville City School Board.
Okay, first I want to say thank you to the mayor and to the seats of the council. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. One reason, I've been in the service for 25 years plus. I have served not only community here in Asheville, North Carolina, I have served throughout the United States. I have served from, I spent 25 years in the military. I spent about a little over 15 years as a ROTC instructor. After our ROTC was closed, I started a reset room at Marford North Star. I kept on going, and I wanted to, all of it because of the community. I enjoy working with the community. I enjoy working with kids. And then this right here gives me an opportunity to continue working within the community and working with our adult students to become citizens within the community. So that's part of the reason why I just want to be part of Asheville City School Board.
And just to follow up, your time as ROTC instructor was at Asheville High?
It was Asheville High, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now we're just kind of round robin. Anybody can ask a question. Is there anyone who, go ahead,
yes.
please.
Thank you, Mr. Warren, for being here today.
Yes,
and
the
question I'd like to ask you is, what would you say is your unique quality that you can offer being on the school board that no other candidate has to offer?
I think the uniqueness of myself is being a leader. I've been a leader most of my life, and I can help others out. I can help the other school board members. I can go into any community within Asheville City School or within Buncombe County, and I can talk to our community. I can talk to people of all ages. I think that I am approachable. I think people will give me that kindness when I do come up and approach and talk to them in a fair way. I think I give more of a balance with the rest of the school board members. And that's give them that little extra leadership, that presence of command when we walk in places and people wonder who they are. I'm always going to be out there. I'm just like there's a saying, boots. You know, I wear my boots and I'm out there. I just like being out there in the community, and that's part of it.
So, and piggybacking on that, what would you say is the biggest need in our school system that is needed to improve the achievement gap that we've actually seen between African Americans and whites?
Well, the biggest thing that we need is support with the families. If the families can give that support to their kids and make it easier for the teachers to give that support while they're in the classroom. I would like to just go in there and just set one kid down and do a one-on-one, like a tutor in that classroom. I think if we had more staff, more volunteers like to go into classrooms and tutor that one kid, get them away and let them just be themselves. Even though that kid probably don't understand what the teacher is saying, with that one-on-one presence, they can relate to each other over a period of time. And that student would be able to have that faith in that person, and so that they can build that relationship, so that he can understand things a little bit more. Maybe not as fast as a classroom setting, but if we can grab that kid on a one-on-one basis and tutor that young man or that young lady the way that that kid can learn.
Okay, so,
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, this is it. And I was just wondering, with that achievement gap, do you have any idea as far as data that's basically sort of between female and males as far as the achievement gap? Do you find that more males are more prone to, to have a higher percentage of dropout and not being able to perform than?
Being in the classroom setting as a ROTC instructor in homeroom, it seems like, and during the summer, we allow students to come into our ROTC during the summer because the parents was working and everything else. So they came in, they watched movies, they helped us out, they cleaned. It seemed like most of them was the female that came into the ROTC building because it was a place for them to be safe. They want to be safe. And it gave our female within our community an opportunity to be somewhere safe during the hours that their parents are working. So it'd be more the female.
Thank you.
Did you have it?
I do. First, let me start off by saying you come to us highly recommended. You have been endorsed by Asheville City Association of Educators. And in an email to us, they said Mr. Warren has been a member of our school community for decades. He has established strong relationships with students, staff, and families, and he has an inside perspective on our school district that would prove invaluable to the board. So my question to you is, what experience do you have working with Asheville City School students, staff, and families from diverse communities?
Diverse community. Okay. As our teaching instructor, our classroom was open to all students. With that, with all students, we had majority of blacks, whites, brown, gender, we had them all. And what we did was, you teach them all the same thing. And so it's like the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps, most of the military, people are either light green or dark green because they didn't want to say black or white or whatever. So everyone was the same in our classroom. So to really answer that question, I never looked at color. I never looked at gender. I never looked at none of that from keeping me from teaching someone the way that they should be taught within the classroom setting. I just like teaching individuals, and I want to look at them all as an individual instead of some type of rich, poor, black, white. I just don't. I'm coming from a family of 10, and family of 10 back in my days, we didn't have a lot, so we had to work together as brothers and sisters, and our classroom was designed to be like brothers and sisters because the students help each other out. If one didn't have it, the other one did. All right? And so they were, they give, So I'm sorry if I'm not able to answer that question.
You answered.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Jesse, I have a question that I'm going to ask everyone. So considering teachers and staff pay and budget advocacy for living wages based on the cost of living, what actions are necessary to recruit and retain teachers that reflect the demographics of our students and our community, and what can the Board of Education do about it?
Well, as a young black educator, I would love to be on that recruiting board to help bring some in. Our pay, not just our educators need to be paid, our bus drivers, our cooks, our custodian. As a bus driver myself, it's hard to get up in the morning time. You got to get your sleep. You can't stay up at night and watch TV because you got to be prepared to get up at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning, start the bus, and get it started. So I think that whole education staff should be paid more because of the job that we do. What the educators do is they provide assets and give tools for that student after they graduate from high school to go get that better job than that teacher. Our teachers should be educators should be one of the highest paying jobs around so what can we do about it? We talk with we get with the community and we ask them, we go out there and I will help recruit. I will advocate for our staff, our teachers, our bus drivers, our cooks, our custodian, because without them, it's going to be harder for us to educate that young kid the way that we should in their school environment. So it would be nice, and as a board, we can all go out and we can advocate. We can get with the city representative and ask them for a bigger budget to pay and to keep the teachers for 15 to 20 years. A lot of school systems do. I think some of my teachers back in the day, they were teaching for 20, 30 years, because they enjoyed it and they were getting paid decent. So we just have to go out there and advocate for it.
Thank you.
And I'd be the first one to go out there and step out.
Thanks. All right.
Yeah,
We've got
okay.
time for one more.
Great. Just looking towards the future, what is or would be your top priority from a leadership role on the school board for the school, the students and the teachers and the families?
I think with myself, to go out there and try to help the board to find a good superintendent. If we get that superintendent, someone that is strong, someone that is dedicated, someone that wants to be within the community and be part of the community, I think we'll find a good leader, because you have to live within the community. It's like you got to live there so you can see that kid that you might have saw playing football. He's working at the gas station, or he's working at the supermarket, or you just got to live in the community. So to find that superintendent and to say and ask him, we have to ask some tough questions about, are you going to live here? Do you have another house somewhere else? How long are you willing to stay here? Because without a strong superintendent to lead our teachers and our community, we're going to be in the same situation that we're in right now. So I'm looking for a strong superintendent, a strong leader that can push us through this madness that we are in right now. All right?
Thank you.
What would you think would be a timeline around hiring I know currently we have an interim superintendent who's willing to stay there as long as needed, but what would you imagine would be a decent timeline for us to expect?
For superintendent?
To hire a hire.
Well, I think right now, I was sitting in on the board last week when the city school board had that meeting, that conference, and we are trying, hopefully, within the next 4 months, because this ain't something that is new. We walking in knowing that we have to hire a superintendent. Just by knowing that we have to hire a strong superintendent, we are not that far back. It's not like they just quit and we just have to find someone real quick. No. We have known this for a long period of time. And I think there are people out there that has been looking. We just have to get together and just put it on paper and try to get someone in within the next 3 to 4 months. I think we would like to have one before school starts or before the summer ends, so that we can bring them into the community. Drive them around the community, let them see where it's at. Let him find a nice house to live so that he can be part of this community. That is what we are looking forward to. Maybe 4 months, 5 months max, but hopefully before the summer before the school ends. I think that's what the Asheville City School Board is looking at right now.
Okay, well, great. Okay, your light's starting to flash. I don't know if we've
Oh,
got time
which
for
light?
another
Oh.
question. What, you're, right. All right, is there anything you want to let us know that we didn't ask you or that you, as we close out here in under a minute?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be here in front of the city council and yourself, Mayor. And like I said, any four of us back here, the rest of the candidates, you can't go wrong. I think we all look good. I would support every one of us in the school system. I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to be in the school system. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to support working with our kids regardless of what. And I would support anyone that have that seat. And for the rest of my time here in Asheville, I'm here to support the city. I'm here to support our school board members likewise.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I think my time, ooh,
Good work, good work.
thanks, guys. I
All
appreciate
right,
it.
thank you. Mr. Young, you are our next candidate? Yes. So we'll have a 15-minute interview here, and Maggie will start the clock for us.
All right.
Welcome to the Asheville City Council, and if you could just begin by telling us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in serving on the school board.
Yes, my name is William Young. I'm a native of Asheville. I graduated from the Asheville City Schools. I went on to college at Winston-Salem State, where I graduated with a degree in social studies, history, and sociology. From there, I relocated to New Jersey, where I taught history and social studies. After about 4 years, I relocated back to Asheville, North Carolina. There, I started working with the Employment Security Commission. I was an interviewer. Matter of fact, I was the only black interviewer with the ESC at that time. After that, I moved over to the Buncombe County Department of Social Services. I worked in the Department of Food Stamps. I got a promotion. I was relocated to the Child Support Enforcement. I stayed there for a while. I left where I moved up to supervisor of Child Support Enforcement. After that, the Child Support Enforcement left the county. So I relocated to Asheville, not Asheville City Schools, community schools, who was working at Asheville High. I was the director over there for the community schools for the Asheville High Division. Because our funds ran out, I was out of job. I started working with Asheville City Schools at that time as a substitute. Then I moved into teacher's assistant. From there, I moved back into teaching. I stayed there till I retired. I'm retired now. I still do substitute every now and then. My reason for coming to the Asheville, trying to get on the board of the Asheville City Schools, I have 3 children. They all went through the Asheville City School system. They all graduated from Asheville City School, and they all graduated from college. My middle son, Keith, back here, went to Virginia State. He graduated from Virginia State in 3.5 years without going to summer school. And he was on the National Dean list. My daughter went to Winston-Salem State. She graduated from there. She now works for the Buncombe County Health Department. I have 3 grandsons that went to college. 2 went to Benedict College. The other one went to Old Dominion in Norfolk, Virginia. My purpose of running for Asheville City Schools is I believe in education. All my kids, because of my encouragement and my wife's encouragement, graduated from high school, graduated from college. I have a granddaughter now at Asheville High. She's on the National Honor Society. She's a senior at Asheville High, and she applied at a number of colleges, UNC Greensboro, North Carolina A&T, North Carolina Central. Where else did she apply? out of all those schools, she got accepted to all of them. And she never was turned down. I have a young grandson that goes to Isaac Dixon, got his report cards, all A's. I believe in education. I make my kids believe in education. They make their kids believe in education. I heard you talking about the educational gap. As is well known, African Americans and whites are equal to the third grade. Third grade, somehow the African Americans fall down. I didn't make my kids fall down. I made them study. The way to get the achievement gap is to get with the families. If the kids are not encouraged to keep going on doing, they will not do. My kids kept going. They are doing. I'm available for questions.
And that's a great segue, because my questions are going to be the same for all candidates, and so you sort of went into that. And thank you so very much for sharing, your extremely long lineage of education in your family and how important that is. So what would you say, like you said, you did say something about the family as far as how do we address the achievement gap. So do you have some ideas other than, like you said, that one? Do you have any other ideas what we could do within the school system to improve the achievement gap?
First thing, like you said, it has to start at home.
So, okay.
If we can get the families to encourage their kids to start at home, then we start at school to encourage them. Let the students that they are somebody. If they come to school and they're being told, you're nobody, your parents are nobody, you're not going to make it. My parents don't have a college education. I went to school, I went to Winston-Salem State. I paid my own way. My parents couldn't afford to pay for school. Back in my time, there wasn't such things as Pell Grants. You either had it or you don't have it. I paid my way. My sister paid her way, and we helped our brothers and sisters pay way. My youngest brother is now an attorney here in Buncombe County.
Okay, and you pointed out, like you said, it starts at the family. What can we do? What can the school board do to actually help those families to, to do what they need to do as being accountable and responsible for their kids? Is it anything, I don't know, I'm just asking you, because you've got a lot of experience. Is there anything that the school board could do to help those families start spending more time and being more involved in their children's education?
The school board can encourage our superintendent to encourage his teachers to encourage the family.
Got it, okay.
The school board per se, just like the city council, are not doing the hard work. They have to encourage the superintendent to encourage
Teachers.
his teachers to encourage the families to do it.
Great answer, thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Young. It's
Good
a
afternoon.
pleasure to see you again. Thank you for being here this afternoon. Can you tell me a few things that you believe Asheville City Schools does well? Can you sell me on Asheville City Schools, please?
They do well in academics for the high achievement and the low achievement. What they don't do well with is the ones in the middle. They have special courses if you're up there. They have special instructors if you're down there. If you're in the middle or falling through the cracks, you have no one to turn to. I think if we could have some teachers to help them, we'd be over the crack. Another thing, Asheville City Schools was the jewel of all in Buncombe County and in Western North Carolina. Everybody wanted to come to Asheville City Schools. Now, they don't want to come to Asheville City Schools. The main reason is economics. And That's something that maybe the city council and county commissioners would go. We all know cost of living in Asheville, extremely high, extremely high. And we could start with school systems by increasing their income, but until we can balance the cost of living here in Buncombe County and Asheville, it's going to be a struggle, per se.
Mr. Young, Kim Roney here. I just wanted to start with gratitude for your years of service to our community, addressing issues of health and well-being as well as education. That's a great segue into my question that I'm asking everyone today, which is considering teacher and staff pay and the advocacy that's happening around the cost of living based on housing, what can the Board of Education do about it to ensure the wages for recruiting and retaining teachers that reflect the demographics of our students and our community?
The Board of Education can make sure that our teachers are treated fair through the superintendent. Make sure that they have adequate pay. Also, with adequate pay, we can also give our teachers a little help. In the elementary schools, we have teachers' assistants. In the high schools, we don't have teachers' assistants unless you're in the EC program. That's what I was talking about. At Asheville High, like I said, I substitute every now and then. You may have one teacher with 30 students in a class. Now, if you got a AP class, we have no problem. No problem at all. But you got an average class, you got 30 students. You're working with this student over here is acting up. If you had another body in there, he's acting up because he knows he can act up because you can't attend to him, or she can't attend to him. If the board could see fit where they can get maybe a teacher's assistant for, and would be perfect if they could do it for all teachers, but if they can't, for at least 3 teachers, they help them out, if it could be possible.
Thank you.
Time for another question. Excuse me. It's nice to meet you. I'm Maggie Ullman. Talk to me about what your top priority would be in the coming year.
Top priority? Mm-hmm. Top priority, I guess we all know, is to get a permanent superintendent. Now, we can do a nationwide search, that's great. But we also have educators around here. I'm not saying don't do a national search. Also look around here in this area, see who's going. While I was at Asheville High School, I think I was only there about 15 years, but we had about 4 or 5 different superintendents. And they were all from out of the area, that's not a bad thing. But while we look out of the area and look in the area. We've been looking just out of the area. If we could find somebody like Miriam to be our superintendent.
Oh, jeez. I don't know which job's harder, but okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I know we're getting close to our time, but does anyone else have any other questions? All right, is there anything you want to add before we close this up?
No, as Jesse, I call him Jesse because we work together. Is he still here? It's 4 of us, and whoever you choose will do good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay, next we have Miriam Masachi. You're going to tell me how to say your last name.
Yeah.
Exactly right. I'm sure you're used to that. Welcome here.
Hi.
All right. Okay, we're going to begin. If you would just, as we're starting with everyone, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in serving in this role.
So my name is Miriam Masachi. I am interested in this role. I have 3 kids in the system, 2 of them currently in Asheville City. One will be graduating Asheville High this year. I have been working with kids for the past 28 years in different capacities and different places. I am a big believer that kids have a voice that should be heard in the educational system. I feel like it's not heard enough, and I would love to change that. Passion, that is my passion. So I guess that's why I would like to be on board.
Well, and maybe tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of your experience in education or not. But what brought, because just give us a little more information about you yourself.
So I started in the Scouts, in the Israeli Scouts. It's a little bit different than it is here. I was a counselor since I was 14. I've been working with younger kids all the way into the Army. I went to the Army. I was an educational officer for soldiers in the IDF, not in the U.S. Army. And I helped soldiers get their education and better their education, and I helped them in their in family issues or things that they needed help with. I took them all around Israel traveling to see different, in an educational way, to see different things and to, my words are, I'm sorry, and to enrich their knowledge and to enrich their lives. When I went to college in Israel as well, and I've been working with kids from the age of 2 till about 8th graders for the last 13 years in Asheville. I work at different schools. I do movement classes. I'm a big believer in movement and gross motor skills for young kids. And I go around and I take my own equipment and I come into schools and I work with different groups of kids. I also substitute. I'm also a substitute teacher at Francine Delaney, which I really enjoy doing, and I do that often. I guess that's it. I don't know if I'm
I'm glad I
forgetting
asked
something.
that follow-up question there. Does your work take you in any of the Asheville City schools from time to time?
Currently, no. I've been working in private schools. I've been working in charter schools. I've been working in preschools. Not at Asheville City for now.
Thanks.
Okay,
Yeah.
and sort of, I'll just go to, what would you say is your unique quality that you offer to the school board that you would say no other, candidates could offer? What would you?
I feel like my passion for kids and to listen to kids and families and teachers, and I want their voice to be heard. I want them to be part of the process and not only always be the receivers of decisions that are made that have to do with their everyday lives. I think that the 4 of us, all of us brings diversity to this board that needs it in different ways. Each of us brings that. I think my diversity, part of it is also in my different experience from different, I've been in charter schools, so I bring a lot of different knowledge. I'm not an insider only from Asheville City Schools, and I want to bring things that I've learned from different systems that we can apply at Asheville City.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, sorry.
It's going in the wrong order.
Hello, neighbor. Hi. Good to see you this afternoon. I had the opportunity to attend a couple of forums during the election season, so I'm going to steal a question from one of those forums. The question is, what is a perfect school system to you, and how do we get there? You remember that question?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Thank you. To me, a perfect school system is, wish it existed. A perfect school system is where kids, first and foremost, kids come to school happy, and kids come to school feel heard, feel known, and feel seen. I think that's the most important, that's the base for me of any educational system. I want a perfect school for me is also when parents, as a parent, that I feel comfortable sending my kids. I know that they are receiving what they need. I think kids have such different needs. I have 3, and each one is so different, and I want to know that when they go to school, their needs are seen, the way they learn is seen. I also, for me, a perfect school is where teachers are happy. I think a perfect school can't exist if teachers are just coming and not feeling like their thoughts and their opinions are heard and part of the process. So I think it takes all of these things together to make the perfect school system. Those are, for me, the most 3 important things.
And do you want to weigh in on how we get there?
How we get there, I think it starts from the bottom. I think it starts, and when I say the bottom, I mean the youngest ages. I think we need to put a lot of time and energy and thought into what we do with our younger kids. And I think that builds a base, and through that base, they can grow and be the best selves that they can be, and to find their full potential as they grow. I think I would love to have some kind of system that we can listen to the teachers, we can listen to the parents. I have teenage kids at Asheville High, and they come with all these thoughts and ideas, and they keep telling me, Mom, no one listens to us. We have ideas for this, and we want to do that. I would love to have some kind of forum that would listen and give kids ideas of how to solve problems. Just something simple that happened recently was their homeroom was taken away, homeroom time in the morning. A lot of kids were very upset over this. I was too as a parent. I didn't feel like anyone explained to me as a parent why that happened. No one explained to the kids why that happened. It just happened. Things like that I would love to avoid. I want the kids to feel like they have a say. They go there every single day, and they should have the right to at least know why things are happening.
Miriam, I'm going to elevate the same question to each applicant, and that's considering the teacher and staff pay and the budget advocacy that the educators and staff have made around living wages based on the cost of housing. What actions are necessary to recruit and retain staff that reflect the demographics of the students and community? And then what can the Board of Education do about that?
So first of all, we need to make sure that our teachers are paid in order for them to be able to stay and live here, and they don't need to look for second jobs and other ways to earn money in order to live and to support their families. I think a big piece of it is also for teachers to feel heard. And it is the income issue, of course, is number one. And with that hand in hand comes the issue of being heard and being able to make decisions for their classroom and for their school. I think happy teachers are teachers that give their own ideas and that their thoughts are valued. I can tell you I have experience from a school that's run without a principal by teachers, and gives them a lot of power in decisions. Another school that I've worked with it's called a democratic school. It's in Israel, and the idea is that everyone has a say. All the kids vote, for instance, about certain decisions that are made. I think there are many ways to change things and to bring everyone to a place where they feel like they matter. Their opinion matters, and they're not only being told what to do, they also have input in the decision.
Thank you.
I hope I answered your question.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll chime in with the same question I've been asking. As you look to the coming year and years, what is your top priority for putting your effort into to improve and support our schools?
So I know I'm supposed to say the superintendent, and I agree with that, and I know that will be the initial push and the most important thing that we do. For me personally, I do want to look at, we were talking about the gap that you asked before. To me, listening to the kids and the teachers and the families and the gap, the achievement gap, to close that would be personally my first priority. I think we need to put more effort and thought and money into the younger kids, preschool, kindergarten. I would like to have camps during the summer. I think a lot of the gaps that are opening up happen through the summer when some kids get to go to camps and to do all these things, and some kids don't, especially when they're younger. That is one thought that I have. I would love to have high quality after school for younger kids. So they're getting all that support before they go up to the older grades. So yes, the superintendent, and I know that for me personally, there are other things that are also super important that I would love to do.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
Any other questions? Okay, all right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Okay, and so finally, we're going to have our last interview with Mr. Sabbo.
I'm going to switch glasses on you because I have two different depths of field. So sometimes people will laugh because they'll see two sets of glasses on top of my head. So now I can see you very well.
Okay. All right. I'll let you take a second. Yeah. Okay. All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're seeking this position.
Okay, and are you comfortable if I take a mask off?
Yeah, obviously.
Well,
Not.
So my name is Pepeia Sabbo. This is, I've been before this body before, but there's only one face who was here the last time that I interviewed. I want to thank Antoinette Mosley and Sandra Kilgore, Esther Mannheimer, Kim Roney, and Maggie Ullman. Thank you very much for being here today. And of course, Maggie Burleson, our clerk. Thank you for holding things together. And I would love to see Sage and Councilwoman Smith as well. Many of you have met me out in the community, and we've talked on the campaign trail. So you know some of my backstory. Esther, you were here when I interviewed the first time. I got into going to school board meetings because I had a kindergartner at Hall Fletcher Elementary, and this is many years ago. I have a 14-year-old now. You know, that kindergarten year can be a little difficult to make the transition from preschool. And so sometimes I was coming into the school building a little bit late and walking my kid to class. And on one of those occasions, I was leaving the classroom and I saw an EC child being brought to my kid's classroom for mainstreaming. And the EC teacher was walking faster than the 5-year-old. And the 5-year-old pulled back and the EC teacher pulled harder, and the 5-year-old sat down and the EC teacher dragged the child down the hallway. About 10, 15 feet, got a grip on themselves. I wrote it off as a bad moment, and the teacher gained control of themselves, and another staff person approached, put out their hand, and the child went willingly to the classroom. My background before that was as a camp director, and I've got about 7 hours of different PowerPoint presentations on approaches to discipline and interactions with children. And I knew that that staff member had lost it in that moment. 3-4 weeks later, when I saw a different staff member doing the same thing with a different EC child, and the solution being an assistant teacher who walked up, knelt down, got on the child's level, put out their hand, resolved the situation, I knew that there was a systemic issue. So I went to the principal. I went and spoke with other principals in the school district. I met with central office staff. At one point, somebody directed me to go speak with Matt Buys, who was on the school board at that time. And Matt Buys said, "Oh, well, your kid's going to go to Isaac Dixon now. You won't see that." His daughter Katie at the next table said, "Oh, we've seen that at Isaac Dixon." So for me, like, this whole journey begins because I had a skill set in teaching young people, working with campers, how to shape approaches to behavior, approaches to discipline, and I saw a need in Asheville City Schools. And so this is me as a kindergarten parent. I'm now the parent of a 9th grader. I have met every superintendent and every assistant superintendent, deputy superintendent, staff members over the years. Generally speaking, I will describe issues that I've seen, and I will hear the staff members say, "Oh, yes, we see what you see, and we're going to address that." And then a month or two later, I will hear, "Well, my position was not renewed, and I'm going to be leaving Asheville City Schools." So we've really struggled over the past 8-9 years with turnover in key positions. I started after my kids' kindergarten year, after meeting with Matt Buys, he was like, "Come to a school board meeting," so I came. I didn't know what to expect. I thought the school board members would have heard from Matt Bies and would be asking me questions about this. But really, it's the same kind of official meeting that you guys do, and I just didn't know how to fit in. So I just kept showing up. I became involved in the PTO over at Isaac Hickson Elementary. The next year, I started what would be 4 years as an assistant, a vice president for the parent-teacher organization to support staff members, to support parents, students, families, and the principal in having the resources that teachers need. When we started looking under Pam Baldwin, Superintendent Pam Baldwin at ICS, it was a program that said it wasn't a program from Wisconsin that whenever the videos were presented to staff, those videos showing successful multi-level instruction to students, those videos always had more than one staff member in the classroom. But when we look at funding, we don't have the same funding that they do. Right now, we've got teachers in our district who can move to Ohio and make double the money, $30,000 or more than they're getting paid here in Ohio, which is not that far away. And we have teachers who leave for the more money. And so we really, like if we're going to address the needs in our schools, we need to be looking at legislative agendas. We have to partner with the other school districts. We have to increase funding so that it's possible to have the additional staff that we need for multi-level delivery. And we need to be looking at the impacts of the No Child Left Behind law, which suddenly introduced high-stakes testing. Suddenly, I say suddenly, 20 years ago, and that has meant that our kids in kindergarten are now getting what used to be elementary school, first grade instruction. And so we expect kids to arrive at kindergarten ready to learn, and if we don't close the preschool gap, I see you. Yes.
I'm just trying to make sure we have
Yes.
time for questions.
Am I talking too much? If we don't close the preschool gap, we can't close the other gaps.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Sabbo. And greatly appreciate all that information. It's wonderful. And also, what I did notice that you were saying that you have actually experienced different superintendents, a lot of them that's come through and that have failed or whatever, and that's good. I'm glad. But I want to ask you a question about that. What would you say is the characteristics that you would look for in a superintendent, and what would you avoid?
It is okay to be the smartest person in the room as long as you know that the room is smarter. And we've had a lot of superintendents, several who were the smartest people in the room, but they didn't take the wisdom of the community and the wisdom of their staff. And so for me, I'm looking for a servant leader. But I also want to say, I am skeptical of a rush to hire a superintendent immediately. Now, I'm in the majority if I were to join the school board. I mean, in the minority. And I think that the school board is going to move ahead, but I would be a reminder that the school board has to be willing to say, hey, we didn't find the person that we're looking for. Dr. Cosby, would you please stay with us for another cycle? Because right now, our schools are getting the benefit of one of the best superintendents in the state as an interim, and we have a period of stability, and that's what we really need.
Thank you.
Is that fair?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for interviewing with us today.
You're
I
most
think it's no
welcome.
secret that you are well-known within the community for your school advocacy. From what I understand, you've attended most, if not all, of the school board meetings.
For almost, for over 8 years, yes.
Mm-hmm. And in addition to the superintendent search, I believe another hot topic has been the opportunity gap. So given your ability to show up, I'm wondering if you had the opportunity to volunteer with any of the BIPOC after-school programs? And if you have, what lessons have you learned? And if you have not, why not?
I have, actually. I volunteered for 3 years, 3 school years with Read to Succeed as a reading coach 2 to 3 times a week with a student at Johnston Elementary. That means that I was providing instruction to one child, and I can't provide details, too many details on that. But the lesson that I learned from that experience is that suspending students in those early years and delaying school experience has a dramatic impact on their ability to learn. If you have a student who is larger than the other students because of age differences, then they wind up being suspended disproportionately. They wind up missing instruction. And we as a school system, and this is true for Buncombe County schools as well, have to radically decide that no children is going to fail and provide all the resources so that students are on grade level and that we move them forward with literacy. And of the reading coaches in that cohort, out of the approximately 10 that were there, I was one of 2 or 3 who was able to advance the student. And it was not because I was given an easy student. It's because when the child went and hid behind the trash can, I sat next to the trash can and went through the reading lesson and said, I'm not going to abandon you.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask the same question that I've been asking. I know you're familiar with this one. Considering teacher and staff pay and budget advocacy for living wages based on the cost of housing, what actions are necessary to recruit and retain educators and staff that reflect the students in the community, and what can the Board of Education do about it?
Well, there's a lot that the Board of Education can do. One of the biggest issues is housing, and that is something that the board can take action on by setting up more interim housing for new hires, but also has to work with the county commissioners on affordable housing issues and with the TDA to loosen up their guidelines on what they're allowed to spend money on, and with our legislative agenda with the General Assembly. I will add, though, that one of the biggest issues that we have in funding is our legacy district boundaries. Right now, 53,000, and correct me if I'm wrong, 53,000 of our 93,000 residents in the city of Asheville are outside the legacy school district boundaries. And when we get into certain areas, neighborhoods were allowed, homeowners were allowed in certain neighborhoods to choose whether to be in or out of the district. And there are people who move into the city of Asheville thinking that they're going to be in Asheville City Schools. Every property around them continuously is in the district, but it's like a moth-eaten doily, our district map. And so how homes are left out. And right now, there is a roadblock because according to the attorneys that are shared by both the Buncombe County Schools District and the Asheville City Schools, that's Campbell Shatley, the county will never approve a property moving to the Asheville City Schools District. So again, we need a legislative workaround to make that possible. On top of that, not only are individual homeowners' properties left out, we have the entire commercial district getting out of paying the schools tax on the other side of Bowcatcher Mountain. And so from my perspective, we really need to look at including the area from 240 and the river up to Bowcatcher Mountain in our tax district. So Asheville Mall doesn't pay city taxes, and as we expand, even if we expanded into different areas on a voluntary basis, on an opt-in basis, remember that that extra school tax, because of a case about 20 years ago 15 years ago when Al Whitesides was on the school board, the money for the extra school tax follows the child. And so all of the schools in Buncombe County can benefit from us expanding the Asheville City Schools tax district. And that also helps with our funding issue with additional staff. Is that helpful?
So I've asked the same question and, beeped me.
Okay, we timed out.
All right.
But that might happen if we get into a good
It's okay.
conversation, so. Okay, so that concludes the school board candidate interviews. We are meeting in this room tonight at 5 o'clock, and we'll take up the appointment. And I believe it's at the end of our agenda, because our board appointments are at the end of our agenda. You're welcome to stay the whole time, or just watch us online, so you don't have to stay. But we appreciate everyone coming down.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Yeah. And I'll be happy to answer your questions anytime.